Afternoon. It is Thursday today. So I don't know if you noticed in yesterday's video, which was 105, I didn't do any filming on the Tuesday. Well, I did do a bit of filming, and this is what happened. How are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday afternoon. I've spent the morning just sorting stuff out. New laptops arrived, but we need licenses and things still sorted out on it, so been getting a bit of that sort of admin done, and one or two other bits and pieces which I don't think was very good content, so I've deleted it. Anyway, I'm at this digger in the woods. It's actually stopped raining. The rain on the way here was horrific, and I was really not looking forward to it, but it's stopped now, so digger's just pulled up alongside us. I'm gonna crack on. So this is the 225 with the noisy hydraulics, which you can hear in the cab when the door's shut, but when you open the door, it's a lot harder to hear. And as you're working the machine throughout the day, apparently the noise gets louder and louder. The machine's been working this morning, just tidying up the drain along the side of the road. Chatting to the driver there, yeah, it's definitely making a noise. So hopefully change this valve block here. And it seemed to make a difference anyway when we were messing about with this. It seemed to make a difference when I was here with my boss. So we'll change it out, put a new one on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have it sorted, because after that I'm out of ideas, I really am. So yeah, what is it, 4 pipes, 2 plugs and 2 M8 bolts. Shouldn't take much doing. We'll get it done before this next lot of rain comes barreling in, hopefully. Right, that's the new valve on, and we're just going to give it a try. Fingers crossed, everyone, because yeah, I'm out of ideas. So initially it seems okay, but like I say, he's going to go and work it now for 15 minutes or so, and yeah, but initial go with it, he was giving it the thumbs up, so I'm hoping, I really am. But yeah, there he goes, look. Yeah, I really am hoping, I'm gonna go and clear that ditch out around that corner anyway, so I'll pack my tools up, because I won't need them back out again, will I? Well, it's coming back anyway. I don't know if it's good news or bad news yet. I don't think it's good news. Right, it's nearly 6 o'clock now. Yeah, not sure. I put the old valve back on. So it's back to standard. Before I did do that, the pilot feed pipe into that valve block, when I cap that pipe off, so I stop the oil going through that valve, it works the machine and the noise is absolutely gone. I put the feed back through that valve, it works the machine, the noise is there. You've got an A and a B line coming off and going to the valve chest. If I take both those pipes off and blank it, the noise is really noisy. And then the other pipe is a tank line. So when I've got both pipes off and they're blanked and it's really noisy, the pilot feed pipe is vibrating like hell. So to me, that's the pilot oil going through the valve chest, hasn't got anywhere to go, so it goes through that little valve block and back out and away to tank. So to me, it's that valve. But I've changed it, it's a new one. Very frustrating. Pilot pressures, you're looking at about 40 to 41 bar, so it's absolutely bang on the nose where it should be. Just don't know. I just do not know, and I can't just leave it blanked off and tell them just to work it with it blanked off, because you're not getting rid of the problem, are you? You're just, you know, saving it for another day. So yeah, I'm at a loss with that one, unfortunately. Go back to the drawing board. Anyway, I'm gonna go home and have my tea because I am starving. Like I say, it's just after 6 o'clock now, and I'll be easily 7 o'clock before I'm on my way back. My wife was just saying how nice it's been that I've been back at a decent time the last couple of weeks or so. Never mind, I'll see you in the morning. So, not a good day at the office. Anyway, like I say, I came back from that job, and the Wednesday morning, so yesterday morning, I made up a report explaining all that I'd done, and that I was sure it was this valve, but evidently we fitted the new valve and the noise was still present. So I sent that report off to my boss, and he's came back with a software update for both the EPOS behind the seat here and the gauge panel screen. So that's why I'm here today. So I've just done my first EPOS update. Don't know why I'm pointing at that, it's on here. On a Dash 7 machine, and it's a lot easier to do than the old Dash 5s and Dash 3s. You've got a toggle switch here, which you used to have to have in the off position, key on, turn it to the on position or key off. Anyways, in that sort of way. Anyway, just updated the EPOS software to the latest version, and now what I need to do is update the screen. So that's my next job. So that is the screen updated. Everything should be up to spec now. So I'm going to give it to the driver now. I'll pack everything back up into the van, and hopefully we'll get a thumbs up. Thumbs up is what we're after today. Okay. So he's unworking it now. Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It'll be a bittersweet thing if it does cure it, because obviously there's been a lot of time and effort gone into trying to get to the bottom of it, and if it is something as simple as a software update, then yeah, all that time in the rain and a late finish, just don't want to have any, I suppose. Well, got the thumbs up. What a result. He's worked it there now for half an hour. He was saying that as he worked the machine, you could almost tell when the noise was going to happen based on the hydraulic oil temperature. So he's worked it up to that temperature and ran it at that temperature for around 20 minutes there, and there's no sign of any noise in the cab, which is a big result. So yeah, software. Science, isn't it? Anyway, that's a good result. I'm pleased we've got to the bottom of that, because you know there's been a lot of time and effort gone into getting to the bottom of it. So yeah, it's another job ticked off the list. So it is 10 to 5 now. I'm going to head home. Tomorrow morning I've got a 420-7 load and shovel to service. That's a 500-hour service, and then I'll either go back into the yard, because he's going to work that machine all day tomorrow, because it's going on to a job next week up in Aberdeen. So I might go back to the yard and do some bits and pieces tomorrow afternoon, because he's going to work it tomorrow morning for a longer period of time, just to be sure. that the machine is okay, because the last thing I want is to run all the way up to Aberdeen. So yeah, I might stay just handy, because that'd be good. Although if that doesn't cure it, not too sure. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. So we're on Friday morning, and I thought I'll show you we had a hell of a rain last night, and all this was just soaking wet. You can still see a bit of water sat on the floor down there. I've been having a look up in here, so just turn the light on. So immediately I took the dash console bit out of here again, and this aerial here was absolutely bone dry. It's definitely not coming out of there. However, you can see there's a little stream of water there. So I just wonder whether it's running along the windscreen here. It's getting in at the windscreen somewhere. Because on Wednesday night I had to park my van on to the side of the road. So the van was sat that way, and we did have rain overnight and the van was dry, but parked it on my side of the road, which is that way, and I've got water in the van. So I'm just not sure whether we're getting water in. I mean, all of that feels dry up there. Yeah. Oh, that sealed. Seems to be well sealed, other than that gap there. I don't know if that's got to do with it. It sits a bit lower though, so I can't imagine that would be it. But maybe I've got a leak in the windscreen. Anyway, I'm gonna get me filters put in the van for this 420 service. The weather's horrendous, but we'll just crack on with it. So yeah, I'll go and grab the filters and I'll see you at the shovel. Right, it's been throwing it down all morning, and we've got this bit of a lean-to here, look. We've managed to get the shovel in for us to service. So I don't know whether this is going to help or not, but I can only get the mudguard open so far. What's on that side? To be fair, there's 2 fuel filters in the engine autofill from there, but yeah, I'll definitely get this mudguard open anyway. I bet you now, the whole time I'll be servicing, it won't rain, but if it does, I'll be glad of it. It's nice when folk try and help. Right. I'll just put a normal boiler sheet on today. Yeah, right, let's get a start. Found the light switch. It was a bit dark in here to be working. Right, we'll start as usual by draining the engine oil. If I brought the right size socket with us. It's a 21. What am I thinking? Right, we'll try again. 24. Get that running out. Oh no. Doing this one, right. Try again. Hey, it's a Friday. Making a right meal of this look. There we go. Right. Set that to draining. I'm going to get a couple more empty drums, because this one is about 46 litres of engine oil, so I'll have 2 in a bit. The calm after the storm. Lovely day now. I'm inside this dark old shed. Never mind, I appreciate the gesture. That's the engine oil drained out now. That'll be a quarter of a drum. 2 full ones there. I'll get this engine oil filter changed now. And spin some fuel filters on, pilot filter. Just a little service on the 500 hour service interval. Not too bad. What am I after? Filters. Here. Oh look, there's a cab filter as well to do. The driver's gone away with his free thermos mug. Always goes down a treat with folk, that. Yeah. Right, get on with this. Out with the old, in with the new. So on the fuel filter side now, I'm just going to run the fuel out of this filter before I take this glass ball off, remove that filter and replace it with a couple of new ones. And then we'll bleed the system up. I like these ones for bleeding up, they're nice and easy to do, as long as the filter isn't slightly damaged. We've had that before on this shovel, haven't we, if you remember that. There we go, new one on. Just plug these plugs back in. And I've got this pipe to go back on as well. That's the drain pipe for the water and fuel. Push that on. I'll grab a screwdriver and nip that Jubilee clip up. Next one is that one, and then I'll show you how we bleed them. So we've got the two new fuel filters on now, and I know a lot of you that have been watching for a long time know this, but we've had a sort of bit of a spike in new subscribers. So if you didn't already know, I never ever pre-fill the fuel filters. It's just something I've always been taught, and I think even when I did that engine course, when was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm sure it was mentioned not to pre-fill the fuel filters just for contamination risk. So I've always bled the fuel filters up with the hand pumps or the electric pumps, depending on which model of machine it is, just to prevent sort of fuel contamination, especially with these Scania engines. The fuel pressure, it's an XPI system, so the fuel pressure in these is absolutely huge, like, and any grit or contaminant will soon cause damage. So yeah, I always bleed the fuel filters, so the fuel coming from the tank is filtered here, then here, before it goes into the high pressure fuel pump. So yeah, that's what I always do. So what I do first is the lead screw on top of this primary fuel filter, put a rubber hose on it, put it into my waste fuel. That way, as I'm pumping, I can see the air bubbles escaping the fuel system. And once those air bubbles stop, I know that we've got fuel all the way up to here without making a mess all around here. And then just to finish off, I'll put my pipe onto this lead screw here, and it's normally after that it's just half a dozen pumps and the fuel system's bled. So that's what I'm going to do now, pump away on this. Tell you something that I don't think I've ever mentioned before. I'm just on with filling the engine oil. I've got one drum in. I'll put another full 20 in, then I know I've got 40 in there, then I can get a half empty drum and just top it off with. But they've been on the go for a while now. I think I probably had them about 6 months, 8, 9 months maybe. They've changed the shape of these drums. With the old drums, the first sort of 5 litres it would kind of glug out, and you'd be lucky, you know, if you didn't make a mess when you were pouring them. But these new drums, you see here, there's like an air breather, so when you tip the drum up, the air is allowed to escape back into the drum, and it just makes pouring so easy. You don't sort of glug and splash it everywhere. You can you know, you can control it. You can see here, I've not spilt a drop, like. But yeah, some as simple idea as that, absolutely smashing. Yeah, I've taken the lid off. You can see a bit better. That hole there goes up through the handle to the back of the drum. So when you've got it tipped up, you're going to have an air pocket here. So it's allowing the air to go into the drum. Just stops it glugging. Good idea. Right, we're nearly there now with the filters. Last one, or the last oil filter to change, is this brake pilot filter. Now, to try and prevent making a mess, in preparation of changing this brake pilot filter, ignition on, wobble the joystick around a bit, let all the pressure out, because there's pressure stored in some accumulators. And then also it's a brake pilot filter, so to relieve the pressure in the brake accumulators, pump the brake. It says in the book about 9 times, but you can always sort of hear the pressure drop in after about 9. So pump the brake, and then finally jump up onto here, let the air out the system. And with the boom, with the bucket on the floor as well, it's a good chance to check the hydraulic oil level. So we'll do that just now once this air's equalised. Yeah, we're just on the glass and no more, so I'll probably put a splash of hydraulic oil in the tank as well. Right, I'll clamber back down these steps. I'll turn the phone off then I don't fall. Right, that's the service complete. I've just topped up the hydraulic oil. And on the mark now. It was only about, I wouldn't even say 10 litres, and to be fair, it's on 2,500 hours, so I've changed that brake pilot filter down there 5 times, so I'll have probably lost about 5 litres in total changing that 5 times. And then I've changed the hydraulic return filters twice, so I've probably lost in total about 5 litres. So that probably, what's been lost in the tank there is probably just what's been lost over the services. And I mean, it's hardly something or nothing, is it? But just on this occasion I've topped it up. Right, what I need to do next, once I put that lid on, I can't do that one-handed, need to go into the cab, reset the service clocks, and then I'll move my van, take it for a run up and down, make sure the transmission's shifting smoothly, give it a few cycle tests, make sure the hydraulic pressures and everything are spot on, and then pack up and head back to the workshop. That's us all serviced. We'll walk back up to the van now. So that is that load and shovel service. Back in the van, it is 11:45, so by the time I get back to the yard it'll be lunchtime. Well, I just wanted to sort of have a chat about, so at the start of the year I started making YouTube videos, and it became apparent, and I was told that to kind of push your channel you should start a Instagram account, and so I did, and that's been no problem at all. And then somebody said, oh, you should do TikTok as well. TikTok's the thing. So honestly, I've gone from the start of the year just having Snapchat and Facebook for friends and family to, you know, having all of the social medias. But what I've noticed is TikTok is the worst place for putting content and having clever clogs put the 10 pence in. It's baffling. YouTube, 99% of it has been absolutely spot on. All of the comments and suggestions and input from YouTube and Instagram has been 99% positive and all good. But I've noticed a lot of TikTok, it's just crackers. Like the other day there, I put a TikTok video up about putting that turbo and AdBlue injector on that 225, and I said, I'm here in the woods, the weather's not great, blah blah blah, and somebody felt the need to comment, oh, you're not in the woods. And I thought to myself, well, where else am I then? If you have a look around in that video, all there is trees and stumps. I don't understand it. And then someone else had commented, oh, you just take the AdBlue injector out, rinse it in hot water and put it back in. That's what I do with my car every now and again. And I thought, well, you're not fixing a problem there, are you? There's an issue with it. Anyway, for the most part, I found social media to be, especially Instagram and YouTube's been grand. And like I say, I don't have to make these videos. At the moment, I'm enjoying it. It's a hobby, and you know, I like to show people what's involved in doing my job. I don't put the videos out there to boast about how I fixed something, because I don't get it right every time, and hopefully I've illustrated that in some of my previous videos. You know, I'm learning on the job still, and I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm not saying this is how you should do something, because, you know, your next man. I mean, even lads in our, you know, within our company on the tools might go about servicing that load and shovel completely differently, and they may disagree, and they may refill, you know, pre-fill the fuel filters and whatever else. All I'm trying to show is how I go about doing my job, and you know, showing people the variety and sort of every day is different type of thing. And as you've seen with that job there, the driver's parked the machine up for me and he's left me to it, and you know, a lot of the work that I do goes unseen and unnoticed, and I just sort of think that it's something that is quite interesting and people might want to see it. Anyway, I'm not having a grumble, I'm quite happy and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. Hopefully you've not switched off, but yeah, I'm going to head back to the workshop now, and we'll see you there. So it is 4:45, just after PDI in that low loader trailer there. Not an awful lot to see, so we'll call it a day at that for today. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like. For more bits and pieces throughout the week, have a look at Ali's Digger Diary on Instagram and TikTok. But be kind. Right, have a good weekend all. See you on Monday.